so much for your patience. We just had some tech difficulties, or I had some tech difficulties. So thank you so much. I had the pleasure of teaching a class called 5 and 5 with Blind Tiger with Miss Sophie Buddle, who unfortunately is under the weather today. She has a health condition with her eye right now. So unfortunately, Zoom's probably not the best for that. But yeah, I'm here. My name's Amber Harper-Young. I'm a longtime comic. I've been doing comedy for 10 years. And I got the honor to teach this class, the online Zoom class. And what the basic gist of it is that everyone came into this class and they are collecting jokes that will amount to 5 minutes. So in 5 classes, they write 5 minutes of material, and everyone did great. And I'm super proud of everyone. So yeah, most people on the show are going to be doing stand up for their first time. So we really appreciate you being here. If you are here and you can control the sound in your room to like a point where it's not going to interrupt the show, please join us. Like turn your cameras on, turn your microphones on. The students like wrote jokes. We really want to hear laughter about, on their punchlines. We really want to get that positive feedback. And it just like brings the energy up in the show. So anyone who's here, if you could please do that. If you do put your mic on and your camera on, just be mindful of like any noise, maybe if you're in a room, close the door, like that might interrupt the show. But we do want you to all participate in the show. So I just want to check in with our Blind Tiger people and just double check that everything's going well. Emma, does everything look okay before we start?
Yeah, everything looks great.
Okay,
We got
cool.
the active YouTube chat and there's sound coming out. So you can all
Okay.
be heard, you can all be seen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so let's get into this. Yeah, I'm Amber. I remember I was seeing this guy once, and I remember writing like a pros and cons list because I didn't know whether we should break up or not. The cons were he was a drug dealer, and yeah, and he snored like a horse drowning in oatmeal, like. The pros were his sister was cool. He was a prompt texter. And he was a drug dealer. So I've been seeing him. I was seeing him and I still am. So it's been 8 years, baby. It's going great. It's tough being single when you're in a relationship. I find that's the hardest time. Yeah, he's great though. Like he knows how to compliment me really well. Like he never lays the compliment on too thick. Like he tells me that I'm the sexiest woman in Burnaby. Which is weird because I live in Mount Pleasant and he lives with me. So I don't know. He's a great guy. I bust his chops on stage a lot, but he's a really good guy. I love him a lot. He's a Jewish person, so we try to celebrate his like culture, and like around Christmas time, there's like Hanukkah, right? So I was learning about that. Like we were lighting the menorah, we lit a few candles, and then forgot the rest because we smoke a lot of BC weed, but it's okay. So, but don't worry because like we don't really believe in gob or amethyst, so it's all good. Yeah, he before like I was with him, like my life was kind of going down the toilet for a while. Like I had to build like these mantras for myself. I fashion them after quotes from people I admire, like Gandhi. He once said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I say you must make the right change, especially if you're stoned at work, or you could get caught and possibly fired. Helen Reddy, she once said, I am woman, hear me roar. I say, I am woman, hear me, threaten not to go out after an hour of getting ready because I feel frumpy. And Katharine Hepburn, she's the best. She once said, why get married when you could have the admiration of all men? And I say, why get married? That's it. Yeah. I feel like for my boyfriend, like he wants me to correct him. He English is a second language, right? He's ESL. Like I don't care. Like he wants to say English properly, but I actually love it when he messes up. I think it's so cute. Like it's so darling. And but he's like, Amber, like just please correct me when I say words wrong. But I don't because I think it's so cute, but I also can't because I'm from Brantford, Ontario, so I'm basically illiterate, and but I also don't. And so once we were like at the dinner table with my family, and he was like trying to make my family feel safe about this trip we were taking backpacking around Mexico, and he was like, "Don't worry, it's not like we're gonna snuggle any drugs." Ah, so cute. Cuddling drugs is adorable, right? My heart almost exploded, but also is a good distraction because we smuggled so many drugs up our butts. Do you guys do crimes or? Okay, I think we're ready to like start up the show. I hope you guys are warmed up. I hope you guys are gonna ready to have some fun. Like I said, if you haven't already put your mics on, put your cameras on, please do so now because these students are awesome, and I'm so excited to bring your first one to the stage. Please join me in welcoming the funny Danielle. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I was kind of nervous today leading up to this, just wondering how I was going to earn the respect of the audience. But then I realized that you're all at an amateur Zoom comedy show at 9 p.m. on a Monday, so maybe you have to earn my respect. But it won't be. You don't need to worry; it won't be difficult. I once had sex with a guy who shouted "booyah" when he came. And then I dated him for 3 years. So it's a low bar, but we'll see how you do. But just getting right into it, like I assume everyone here has some unresolved childhood trauma. Yes. Nice. That's very in right now. I actually became estranged from my biological mother when I was 9 years old, which feels like a very adult thing to do, right? Like just sort of walking around with my little pantsuit on, going over my to-do list, go to the Scholastic Book Fair, play Power Rangers with Jessica, become estranged from mother. But yeah, it was kind of annoying. Like my parents were divorced, and she kept doing this thing where she would show up sometimes, not show up other times. And it got to the point where I was really jealous of those kids whose dads just left in the middle of the night. Like you've kind of got to respect that, right? Like they chose a lane and they stuck to it. Fatherhood wasn't quite working out. Like little Jimmy was a bit of a dud, and so they just left. Whereas my mom, she was like, well, I like having an excuse to buy juice boxes, but I don't love providing emotional stability, but that's okay, right? But yeah, it was kind of a how you say strange childhood. We didn't really celebrate Halloween, but you don't need to feel bad for me or anything. Like it's not like I wanted to be the devil's plaything. So, but my dad's reasoning always seemed sound. Like what kind of holiday endorses surprising children with razor blade apples? Like that's kind of a mean trick, you guys. But the biggest thing, which I feel like more people should talk about, honestly, is that Halloween is like the best night to be a kidnapper. Everyone is in costume. If your child gets taken, you're not going to be able to give an accurate description. Like, what are you going to do? Like, oh, hello, yes, my child is 6 years old. Her name is Becky, and she's dressed as a slutty nurse. Sorry. That's the it costume for first graders this year. You're never going to see Becky again, but I don't care. But speaking of loose women, I used to live in the UK, and I had this summer where I was dating a lot and smoking a lot of drugs. Not the hard stuff though, just weed and like a little bit of meth. But the weed isn't really relevant. Like I just like to tell people because it makes me seem really carefree, which I am not. So yeah, I was chatting to this guy on Tinder, and it was going pretty well. He was 6'3", and he worked at Buckingham Palace. I worked at the Natural History Museum. Total colonial love match. And we decided to meet at this Lebanese restaurant near the museum. And when we got there, we started to get to know each other. And he told me that he has a degree in comedy, which is a thing apparently. Yeah, I looked it up, and you can get a degree in comedy from Bath Spa University, which is also a thing apparently. Yeah, so he showed me on his phone, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here's my degree in jokes from Jacuzzi University. It was printed on a Hawaiian pizza." I don't know. Yeah, we were getting along. He was getting good use of that degree, making me laugh. And, I had the chicken tagine, he had the lamb. It was all going really, really well. And so he pulls out his wallet, and I say, "Oh, no, you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that." But then I sort of strategically went to the bathroom so that he would have to do that. Because I am a feminist, but the museum wasn't really paying me chicken tagine kind of money. But yeah, he was walking me home afterwards, and I said, "Thank you for paying," and he sort of paused, and he said, "Oh, I didn't." And I said, sorry, what?" And he said, "Oh, I didn't pay, the old dine and dash." And then he just sort of laughed. And at this point, two things are going through my head. The first, when I said you don't have to do that, I didn't mean you literally don't have to do that. And then also, like, I know, like, I can understand the degree in chuckles might not be as lucrative as you'd once hoped, but that doesn't mean you need to make me an accessory to a crime. Like, I'm kind of already on the hook with all the meth, So anyway, of course, I immediately went home. I let him go down on me to be polite, and then I sent him on his way. My mother taught me how to behave on a date. Thank you very much. Right before she left forever. But yeah, it was fine. He didn't quite bring me to orgasm, but honestly, after the Lebanese incident, I probably should have guessed he was going to dine and dash on me too. Cool. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Danielle.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh. That reminds me, I also had like a weird situation with like this guy who complimented me in the past that he didn't do it well, like he didn't do this compliment super well. He actually laid it on too thick. Like he would tell me, like he was actually hosting a show, and he was like, "Give it up for Amber, she's funny, pretty, and I'd like to wear her face as a mask." Yeah. That's too much. Yeah. And then he went on to say, "I'd like to walk her to her car." This guy was insane. He thought I had a car. Anyway, like I if my boyfriend was with me at the time, like I think it would be really helpful. Like I wouldn't feel scared, like he's usually meeting me after my shows, so like that face guy, don't worry about him. Like he wouldn't be able to deal with my boyfriend because he was like trained overseas in the military. He knows Tim McGraw, so yeah. He's like, yeah, he and I like he gave me this necklace. Actually, I usually wear it. I don't have it on right now. I couldn't find it. It's my birthstone. Atheist. Yeah, I tore the apartment apart. Okay, this next comic up for the 5 and 5 Blind Tiger show is also funny. Please join me in welcoming Ella.
Hey everybody. My name is Ella, And in high school, I was never one of the popular kids. I know, it's so hard to believe. Usually popular kids, the first ones to do stand-up comedy voluntarily as a career choice. No, I wasn't cool. I was kind of a jock, a theater kid, and I got straight A's. Thank you. You might be thinking like, oh, a jock, like they're pretty cool. And yeah, usually, but I play girls field hockey. So surprise, I'm a lesbian now. I've been thinking a lot about religion lately and basically how it's the world's largest cult. I've been thinking about it because my girlfriend has been watching a lot of cult documentaries, and it's second nature for her because she grew up as a Catholic girl. This is the same girlfriend who wanted to join Scientology, like just to try, because they offer free personality quizzes when you sign up. Yeah, I love her. A few years ago, I was living in the super fancy part of Montreal, you know, the area where all the English speakers live. There was this really well-known ladies' boutique that hired me as a sales associate. But to this day, I'm not really sure how to describe the vibe of this store. It was expensive. There was fancy lingerie and activewear in the basement. And then the upper floor was just pantyhose and socks. Like just socks, rows and rows of socks, more socks than you could ever want. The biggest seller in the store, surprisingly, was not socks. It was something called Spanx. And if you don't know what a Spanx is, it's like a compression sock for your entire body. Wearing Spanx can be compared to the creation of a sausage. Your body is the squishy inner stuff, and the Spanx is the casing, you know, just holding it together. The outside looks decent, but you don't really want to know what's going on underneath. So anyways, like there's a regular Sunday afternoon, nothing weird's happening, just me and my socks. And then suddenly this woman bursts through the door, out of breath, runs up to the counter. And you know the type, she's maybe in her 40s. She's got blonde dyed hair with all the roots showing and like this white puffy parka jacket from Canada Goose, even though it's April. And then there's this teenage girl behind her, who I assume is her daughter, that hasn't looked up from her BlackBerry. It's 2015, so BlackBerries are still kind of cool. And she seems like a really popular kind of girl. She's got Uggs and leggings and straight dark hair with one Apple iPad in her ear, you know, she's got the look down pat. But her mother, the woman, presses herself up against the counter and gets so close that I can see the dried spit on the corners of her mouth. And she whisper yells at me, "I need Spanx." Like, ma'am, you don't need Spanx, you need a glass of water. But she goes, "I just had a liposuction and I need Spanx." Again, dragging out the word like it's got a million S's at the end of it. Like, as if I didn't hear her, she unzips her coat, lifts up her shirt, and reveals medical bandages around her stomach. And the girl behind her doesn't even seem embarrassed. Like, her mom does this all the time. It's normal. And I'm just like, what? I make a minimum wage, which was $10.50 at the time. So I take her downstairs. I can hear the clacking of the BlackBerry keys as the daughter is texting. And I think maybe she's texting her friends like, God, mama's embarrassing me in front of this super cool sales associate. I mean, I was cool, so probably. In the basement where all the Spanx are kept, I pull every single style that would hold in this woman's new stomach. I give her absolutely everything to try on. And she hates it all, throwing the beige fabric on the floor of the dressing room for me to get. So I'm crawling around, retrieving clothing like this old-timey dress maid. And the daughter is just reclining on this little couch we have, texting away. I hear the curtains open, so I turn around, and this woman walks out of the changing room completely naked. No bra, no underwear, no socks. I mean, if she also needs socks, we have 4 walls upstairs. You know, if nothing else, this woman has confidence. Like, ma'am, do you realize that we do have other customers? I look at the daughter expecting something, but she literally doesn't give a shit. And I can't blame her, because if this is what mom does in public, like, what does she do at home? Does she ask her daughter to wax her pubes? Like, what horrors has this poor child seen? Like, just keep your head down. Look at your BlackBerry. Text your friends. I forgive you, you know? But then her mother decides to walk naked, or as my mom likes to say when I tell the story, completely starkers to the spank section because she's convinced I haven't shown her everything. I'm frozen. I don't know what to do. And then my kindly, more middle-aged coworker comes out of the break room and she clocks this woman's bare ass. And then my utter look of panic. She commands, Ella, go take your break. And as I leave, I hear her say, lady, you've got to put some clothes on. We run a store, not a brothel. And that's the first and last time I've ever worked retail. I really don't want to go back. So I hope this comedy thing works out. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Give it up for Ella. Yeah. I have this like really fond memory of my mom, and I was like at this age, you know, like where you're easily embarrassed by anything your parents do. And so I had some friends over, and she was in this really good mood. She was dancing, singing, cleaning. She had the vacuum. She did this move where she spun around and caught it again, like ee. And I was like, Mom, for God's sakes, can you put some pants on? So maybe she knew that lady. I don't know. Okay, our next comic making her way to the Zoom screen is the funny Tegan. Give it up.
Hey, I'm Tegan, and if you're thinking right now, I recognize her from somewhere. It's probably from Charles Best Secondary School's 2013 production of Beauty and the Beast. According to my director, I was too valuable as a support to the cast to give a speaking part to. So I played the napkin. That was me. Yeah, I love generally arts and literature my whole life. I love records. My favorite record is the fossil record. Yeah, I just think it was really cool of dinosaurs to have had the foresight to write down their experiences, and it's like necessary and brave to preserve their culture in the face of tragedy. So yeah, like fossil records will be like an anxious triceratops is writing, is it lame to wear a lobster costume to the Cretaceous period? My skin is so wrinkly. I wish SPF was invented. Really good T-Rex with a backwards cap saying like, dear diary, like, it's so swell being the top dog. There's nothing alive on this earth that could beat us. P.S. That space rock is getting really huge. I've been reflecting a lot on my identity as a woman lately. I think that's necessary because I feel much more like a god. Yeah, I just feel like I know what people are thinking without needing to ask them, so I don't. Yeah, like right now I can tell there's somebody on this Zoom call that is thinking that I'm really dateable. Yeah, this gift of mine really comes in handy when I'm traveling to, like, I'll be like taking pictures in front of like a quaint Italian villa, and like somebody's in their home and they're like yelling at me and waving, and it just brings me a lot of comfort that I know that they're just happy to be included in my photo shoot. Yeah, another time it came in handy is I was visiting Venice on the same trip, and I was taking the bus to Venice every morning to go do the touristy things. And one morning I was sitting at the back of the bus, and this Italian man comes on the bus and he's kind of grumbling in Italian. And he sits beside me and pulls out of his duffel bag a large kitchen knife. And he starts just stroking it, like caressing. And I was like, oh, I might perish today. And then he puts it back and he pulls out the polar opposite, a feather, and starts doing the same thing with the feather. And I thought, okay, there's a story here probably. So I tune into my gift, and this beautiful story of self-actualization kind of lays out in front of me. So what this man was thinking is like, knife, so strong, feather, so soft. I must have both of these qualities to be a good person. And I will stroke these objects to absorb these qualities. But I'm very busy, so I'm going to do it on my morning commute. That's me.
Yeah, give it up for Tegan, everyone. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's so funny. Oh man, I'm just gonna keep moving this comedy train along. A little toot toot to everyone. Toot toot. Okay. Your next student coming up is very funny as well. I'm gonna say everyone's funny. We're all on the same level here. So give it up for Aaron. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for all coming. Just start off saying, like, big thanks to our teachers and hosts. They were awesome. They were like so nice and such pros. Recommend them. But they did show us the roast of Alec Baldwin, and he definitely got a lot of shots fired at him. But he's recently really turned that around. Danielle said that she, like, growing up didn't celebrate Halloween. That's like, I celebrated Halloween, but we didn't get Christmas. Like, I would take freaking Christmas over Halloween. I don't know. It just like, I don't know what happened. They started with Halloween, but then they definitely like fell off pretty quickly. They're like, is this shit every year? And like, there's so many of you. They're like, we can't. Like, Christmas is canceled. And I was like, and then all the other kids at school, they're like, what'd you get for Christmas? Oh, Santa brought me this. And I'm like, Mom, what happened to Santa? She's like, oh, Santa's dead. Like, we killed him. I'm like, how? She's like, we lit a fire. And I was like, what? The chimney doesn't do fire. So yeah, like, I survived the Zoom apocalypse, I think. Like, you can tell I don't know how to light my face. I don't know how to do a background. I don't have a real job that requires my brother does, though. He's got like a freaking 2-monitor job. He's all the way in. Like, my mom was on the phone with my cousin who does like hard manual labor, and she's like, I don't know, Ryan, like, he has a computer job. I was like, I want a computer job. Looks so fun. Anyway, people in Vancouver like really identify so much with their like transportation. I feel like they're like Millennium Line or die, or like like biking hipsters who wear like that hat and the really short shorts, and they have like 3 bikes, like one for the road, one for bike polo, one for the rain. I just wonder about like the people flying around on those like electric one-wheel things. Like, do they identify more with driving an electric unicycle or working for DoorDash? I feel like they're secretly ashamed of both because they wear those like full face helmets. I feel like I used to love Craigslist as a kid. That was like my guilty pleasure. Like, I thought it was the best website. I thought it was like the epitome of online shopping. Kids were playing like video games, and I was like, Craigslist is what it is. And then that recently transitioned into like a love for Facebook Marketplace. I posted like one thing, and like, it sold so fast. I was so hooked immediately. And then I was like, sell everything. Sell it all. Like, I don't need a couch. I'll sit on my profits. Like, sell. I was like, sold everything I own. And then I would go to my friends and be like, you should start selling your stuff. Like, you got some nice stuff. And then they just give it to me and I sell it. And then I was like having so much fun. I was like, what if I like make this my job? Like, could be my full-time thing. And then I was like, oh no, so many people coming and going. Like, I might get investigated. And I just wondered what that would look like if cops showed up and I was just like in an empty room, like with a sad light on, counting gold coins like Scrooge McDuck or something. Don't know how much time I have left. Wanted to tell like man, that's a quick story. I'll tell a quick story about like my dog growing up. Like trigger warning, like this dog had a great life. So don't get sad for this dog. He like he came to it. I don't know. Someone offered our family this dog, and we're not really dog people. And it was just strange for us they just said yes. They're like, I guess that seems like something kids do, like give them a dog and then brings them closer. And we got this weird dog, but we didn't like sign up for, I don't know. I don't think we knew what we were signing up for because we got a really weird, like damaged dog. Like we're so neurotic and so anxious, like part Chihuahua and just like so friggin' ugly. Like I imagine like gray, dirty looking hair, even though it was clean, that would just shed everywhere and like this sad face you want to look at too much. And just a terrible attitude. It just like hated everybody and everything. Like it hated us. It hated other dogs. Like little kids would go to pet it and be like, "Can I pet your dog?" And be like, "It bites children." Like, thing. But it was like kind of perfect for our family because we're kind of like a bit antisocial and like, like it was spitting that we had this angry like dog. This thing would like bark at pit bulls and like you pick it up and you're like, I'm actually about to die for this thing because like it pit bull like you because it just started so much crap. Yeah, you like didn't want to walk it, you had to drag it. I don't know. Like no one wanted it in the back seat of the car on trips. Like you like pass the dog with your brothers. You're like, I don't want the dog because it's just too rough on you. He like got uglier in his geriatric years. I don't know. We all like resented this thing as a family. Like, it just got uglier. It got like blind, and its like teeth were falling out, and it just like was never cute to begin with. So, and it started getting pretty big because it's like one joy in life was like food, and my mom just like ran with that. She like give this thing the best life it can. Well, it's here, and it just became like a balloon animal with like little legs, just so thick. And I don't know, it just came time to where we were like, it's the thing's getting old, and you got to make a tough decision. My mom grew up on a farm, and she was like, I know what is good for a dog and what's not, and you don't let it suffer. And the thing just like one day, it was like in everyone's head. We were all like kind of like secretly looking forward to this. And one day it had a really bad day. It would just like walk into a wall. It like ate a ton of garbage, threw up everywhere. And we're just like, this is it. And then my mom called me after work one day and she was like, or after school. And she was like, today's the day. And I was like, oh, I knew what that meant immediately. And I was like, okay. And then I asked my brother, I was like, do you want to go? And he's like, no, I'd rather do anything else. Like, I don't want to go through this with you. And then I just knew it was up to me and her. And I tried to talk her out of it. I was like, it can wait a weekend. But she's like, it made up her mind. And then, so I pick up the dog and we go to SPCA. And the SPCA is like not a nice pet place. Like, they don't care at all. They don't care. They're not, he's like, what's wrong with the dog? And you're like, look at him. He's like, oh, okay. You're right. Like, let's get this going. And then the vet was just like so over it at this point. He didn't have time for your tears. My mom was like in and out. She was like suffering and just like couldn't be in the room, but like couldn't leave it alone. So she was like, can I give him like some cheese? Like that's how she like showed love for this thing. That's why it was so big. And she like, and he like you had to put it right in front of his face because he's so blind. And then, like, shoved it in his face and then like rolled over and farted because he's probably lactose intolerant. And then she like left the room and the doc like went through it and I was like, whoa. And I like had some emotions, like one tear, like the movies. Like, this guy can't see me. This guy doesn't have feelings. And I just remember like the dog looking peaceful, but still so fucking ugly. But like peaceful, which is nice. And then I remember like an absolute weight being lifted because I realized like the dog wasn't coming home. And then I went home and like everyone was like feeling actually pretty good. They're like, wow, these kids lifted. Like you don't have to walk that thing anymore. Like that actually it's like a new page for our family. Feeling good about the future. We put on Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy, and you know, like we kind of celebrated. It was a celebration of life. Like so, yeah. And I definitely go over time, but trigger warning. My I have to tell this part. The story is my mom's favorite part. She was like, when I'm old, like I don't want to suffer. Like you have to put me down. And I'm like, don't worry, Mom. Poppy was just a trial run. So.
Put up for Aaron, everyone. That was awesome. Great job. Yeah. We had a dog growing up. Yeah, I don't know how we afforded a dog. I remember when I realized, like, as, like, a teen, we were on the lower level of the socioeconomic ladder. I was taking this shortcut home from school, and I met up with my little sister. She came crawling up this dirt hill. She had no front teeth at the time, was wearing this oversized Labatt blue shirt, and carrying one jelly shoe. She said, I don't know if we should go home right now. Mama just bought a 6-pack of Bacardi Breezer. And you know what that means. She's got a man over. So so obviously that was the day I realized we were white trash. As my little sister developed a Southern accent. Okay, our next funny lady coming to the stage is Nadia. Give it up. Woo!
What's that? Hi, I'm Nadia. So I'm Nadia, and Nadia is actually short for Nadezhda. It means hope in Russian, and in English, it's a pain in the ass. I was born in Soviet Union and raised in Russia, so I'm from that generation of Russian people who didn't have to explain themselves to the KGB, but deep down inside, I feel like I can still go to jail for almost anything I do. So if I light a joint and see a police car, I feel like a badass. I've suffered a terrible loss during the global pandemic. I lost Joe Rogan. I'm a former disappointed fan. So Joe Rogan talked me down to doing stand-up comedy and become an anti-vaxxer. Who hurts. I mean, I even listened to his MMA podcasts. I named my snowboarding beeb Khabib. And I can't come back from it. Like Joe Rogan's legacy is in my closet now. I had a dream to become famous and get on Joe Rogan's podcast, but tragically that ship has sailed, or should I say it has been towed to Texas. Last time I enjoyed Joe Rogan's podcast was $100 million ago. And I get it, Joe. You sincerely believe that vaccine doesn't work, but so did my dead grandma. I bought tickets to see. I bought tickets to see Joe Rogan stand up at Rogers Arena last year. It's now has been rescheduled to April next year. And I've returned my tickets, but I'm going anyway because I want to see Joe Rogan trying to get into Rogers Arena without his vaccine card. So that show I'm going to watch for free. So yeah. Actually, there is a place in Vancouver there for Joe Rogan's show. Oh, never mind. Corduroy's shut down again. So no chance. I have a dog, and people like my dog even when he's acting like an asshole sometimes, because he's very cute. He and Justin Trudeau have that in common. I'm a true millennial, so my dog has an Instagram. We millennials invented that shit, so boomers can have their houses, and I have my fur baby. Having a dog comes with responsibilities, like having bizarre interactions with people sometimes. Like it happens a lot when someone wants to pet my dog, but definitely don't want to talk to me. Like, oh, hi, doggy. Who is a cute doggy? And I'm like just standing there holding a leash, like, yep. Oh, so cute. And I'm like, yeah, he gets it from his real mother. Another tragic thing happened to me during pandemic. I turned 33. I hate that. I hate that so much. But my friends say, like, don't worry, Nadia, you okay? I'm not okay. I'm talking to my computer while holding a hairspray. My fucking dog is terrified right now. He's like, what the heck? Help me. Yeah, being in my 30s is weird. I feel like I wake up and my head is a voicemail. Hello, you have 2 years until your uterus is officially proclaimed geriatric. To have a baby, press 1. To keep thinking that it's okay to give birth at 41, press 2. To delete this message, please exit the simulation. Depression is fun. I mean, to me, because it's like a familiar concept to me. I know it very well. I'm good at it. I don't care if I die when I'm depressed. I'm like looking forward to it. I'm very suspicious of people who've never been depressed. Like, what are you doing with your life? Hitting your career goals. The only goals I've been hitting lately are my sleeping goals, 12 hours straight. I'm killing it. Thank you so much. My name is Nadia Zemina. Thanks.
Yeah, Nadia.
Hey.
I love that depression stuff. It's so funny. It's so good. I had something recently happen to me. I was talking with a psychologist, and I said, I'm worried, like, because I'm a comedian, it's very, very frequent that comedians are narcissists. I said, I'm worried that I'm a narcissist. And he's like, you're not a narcissist. You're not even good at it. Like, like I was relieved and then also insulted at the same time. You know? Okay, our next comic making their way to our 5 and 5 Zoom show for the first time. Give it up for Jordan. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. This is very weird to be on a Zoom call where I like people on it. It's been a year and a half. This might be a first for me. About a year ago, I bought a condo. Thank you. Please don't. No need to applaud. I only get 5 minutes. Let me finish my set. I bought a condo last year, and a friend of mine told me it's actually a trade-off to own your own place, because now when something breaks at my house, it's my job to fix it, as opposed to when I was renting and I texted my landlord that my toilet wasn't working, and it was his job to text me, not on Sundays, please. And then he quit the next day. I don't know what kind of idyllic renter-landlord relationship he has, where he calls them when something goes wrong and they answer the phone and they say, hello, your fridge doesn't get cold enough. We'll be right there. I'll stay on the line to make sure you're okay. It's our tenant, Craig, whose name I've memorized. He's in trouble. Quick, dispatch the skilled tradesman. And they all run down and slide down a fire pole. Whereas my experience is more like I would call, and then I would call, and then I would call. And then maybe after a couple of weeks, I might catch him, like his glasses were off, so he couldn't scream my call, and he'd answer it, and he'd go like, hello? A gas leak? No ambulance, too expensive. Look, no, I'm gonna send my son. No, he doesn't have any skills. No, but hang on, but he's very wet. I don't miss renting at all, and as a result of getting our own place, we were able to get her a cat, which has been really great. And we get this cat, and we get her a fancy water dish, we get her a fancy robot that feeds her, and a fancy litter box. And my mom comes over and she sees all this stuff, and she said, Jordan, if you're not careful, you're gonna spoil this cat. I said, wow, like, Mom, I guess I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, if I'm not careful, Muffin the cat might not ever learn the value of $1. When she gets older, she might have trouble adjusting, working in groups. So we've been trying to balance this materialistic streak by bullying the cat, not physically, I would never hurt an animal, but psychologically, gaslighting, body shaming, anything we can think of, just like passive aggressive kind of rude comments. Like I'll walk by and say like, Muffin, is that your 4th din today? And just kind of have a pregnant pause that hangs there. So yeah, it's a cat. It's the house. About a few years ago, I went on a trip to Japan with my ex-girlfriend and her fiance, to show them how over her I was. And I did fly there on my own. They insisted. And I was really nervous about this flight because I'm a nervous flyer generally. And I've never been to Japan before, but from what I understood about Japan and Japanese people is that they are very polite and they have kind of very strict manners-based society, whereas I'm more of an ape person. And I was a little nervous I would put my foot in my mouth somewhere, and I'm on this plane and I'm seated next to this elderly Japanese woman, and we established very early on she does not speak English, I do not speak Japanese. And I noticed she's having trouble with her TV. The screen's off and she's tapping it and she can't get it to work. So I don't want to embarrass her, so I just lean over and tap the power button. She immediately taps it again, and she's all over the screen. And am I a saint? Probably. Am I the veritable Mother Teresa of the skies? Of course. But I just couldn't let her sit there languishing. So this time I lean over and I make eye contact and I smile and I hit that power button again. And I lean back in my seat and start reclining in the knowledge of a job well done. And she's back there pawing at the screen. She doesn't know what's going on. And that's when I realize, as I lean back, her screen is on, but as I adjust forward, it's off. You see, the TV just had a very restrictive viewing angle. So at the start of my story, her TV was off and it was on and I turned it off. And she reacted like nothing happened. Like there's like a white guy who lives in her house who comes by and flips the TV off from time to time, And then after she fixes the problem and doesn't humiliate me, this foreign devil, this ape man, leans over and smiles his horrible smile at her and turns it off again. So in the future, just some advice to those in the audience, if you see somebody in need on a plane or you see something suspicious, the right thing to do is to do nothing at all. And I have a bit of time here, so I'll try a topical joke. Apparently Facebook is going to change its name this week. And it's doing that because there's been a lot of bad press about the company recently, including some news that came out just today, actually, that they have knowingly allowed human traffickers to flourish on their platform. So they're going to change the name of Facebook, which is kind of like giving your house a fresh coat of paint when it's on fire and filled with human traffickers. Like, why are you changing your name? Because you're going to apply for a new job and you don't want the new employer to find you on Facebook? Anyway, that's my time. I'm Jordan. Thanks a lot.
Good job, Jordan. Everyone, Jordan, give it up. Oh my gosh, so funny. We're gonna roll right through. We're gonna bring up our next comic, the super funny Savannah. Put your hands together.
Thank you. So not to make everything about myself, but don't I look amazing? Thank you. I love fashion. I think that fashion tells a story. And what I hope that my outfit, my stunning coat is, I hope that my outfit is conveying the right message, fabulous, femme, pansexual that exclusively dates heterosexual men. Yeah, so don't be scared. I would just like everyone listening to repeat after me. You can unmute your mic. Just repeat after me, okay? I love drama.
I love drama.
Thank you. I really just had to reassert my dominance in this virtual space. I am a woman of color, and I'm here tonight to represent a group of people that have been ignored in media, not given the same respect as, you know, a white man, and that is confident women. In 2021, it is still not okay for a woman to say, I feel beautiful in my own body, but it is okay for a white man to say, I want to own all of the money. Like two major societal problems. I'm Indigenous, I have dark skin, and today I am glowing, absolutely stunning. But when I was younger, I was embarrassed about the color of my skin. I wanted to be lighter. And I would wear the wrong color foundation, like a foundation that didn't exactly match my God-given skin tone, just to distract. And I was 14 years old, you know, walking around wearing yellow face paint. And that's my trauma. When I was growing up, there wasn't any Indigenous representation. I didn't have an Indigenous role model to look up to in popular media. I had Pocahontas, obviously, and I also had, weirdly, Zoe Saldana's character in the 2009 epic film Avatar. When I saw Avatar, I was like, okay, James Cameron, I'm totally getting what you're putting down. We love colonialism. You haven't watched both of those films, both of those characters fall in love with the white man that discovers their village. So it is no wonder why I only date white guys, honestly. Like, I had so much free time during the pandemic, and I spent most of that free time questioning my sexuality. Like, why do I keep falling in love with people named Kyle? It's like not fair. I do want to do an impression of every man I've ever dated. I'm a day trader. And my impression of every woman I've ever dated, I'm straight, actually. I do have a new lover. We met during that recent period of our collective histories when Bonnie Henry stated that one of the safest methods of sexual contact was, repeat after me, glory holes. Who could we ever forget, honestly? So it really is a modern love story. Like, he's definitely in love with me. And my advice on how to make a heterosexual male fall in love with you is just say two things. One, I am polyamorous, and two, I am pansexual. If you don't know what either of those terms mean, like, don't worry, neither do I, but it works. And another hot tip is just be in your early 20s. You really don't have to say anything at all. Men do not care. The first question that people will ask you when they find out that you're dating someone new is, what do they do for work? And I have social anxiety, and this question makes me so awkward. And to make it more comfortable for myself, I just play a game. So I just like to test the waters. And when someone asks, what does your boyfriend do for work? I say, he works at a grocery store. And then I wait, and I'm like, just kidding. He's actually a tech billionaire. But who do we hate more? The working poor or the ruling class? Because political climate. But yeah, things are going well. We're hitting relationship milestones. Like, meeting your lover's friends is really hard. Like, despite being fabulous, my social anxiety cannot handle. Like, this weekend, I literally went to my lover's best friend's father's celebration of life on Saturday. And I was really scared of the small talk. So I prepared mental notes of interesting conversation starters. Number one, do you believe in reincarnation? And yeah, don't ask that at celebrations of life. I also went on a week-long vacation with my lover's best friends, their wives, and their children. And this beautiful 7-day vacation cemented my choice to never birth a baby. Like, I love kids, and I always thought I wanted my own kids. But I like, this trip cemented for me that babies are just like purses to me. It'd be such a cute accessory. But ultimately they're not worth the money. And at the end of the day, I would just throw it in a closet. So thank you, Amber.
Thanks, Savannah. Give it up, guys. Put your hands together. Get those phalanges together. Awesome. I'm just gonna keep it rolling. We have one more comic on the show. Last but not least, the funny Adam. Woo!
That's me. All right. Thanks everyone for sticking around. I know it's past my bedtime because I'm 31 going on 74 apparently. Except unlike an actual 74 person, I will never retire as millennial. So let's just get into this. This has been a really fun class. Really enjoyed being with everybody. I like learning. I've actually been learning to play the guitar for several years now. And I know what you're thinking. A white guy with a guitar, that's groundbreaking. How bold of you to push the boundaries like that. Look, what can I say? As a white guy in Vancouver, if I can't play guitar, do improv comedy, or act suitably pretentious inside a microbrewery, what even am I? Also, I'm just sorry to disappoint you. Let's get this out of the way. I cannot play Wonderwall. I'm sorry. I am not a douche. Yet. I've only ever played guitar in public once. My guitar teacher was hosting a recital for his students, and he's got students of like all ages, and it seemed like a pretty like low risk way to kind of get my feet in the water. Try to like work past the stage fright. So I figured, well, sure, why not? Let's do this. So we get there. It's the day of, and I'm watching everybody go on, and as a performer, whoever goes ahead of you really matters. Like you want them to be good, but not better than you. But also not bad, so that the audience like kind of turns and gets sour. You want them to be like fine. Look, what I'm saying is that I wanted to follow someone who sucks. Nay, I needed to follow someone who sucks. Do not put your star student before me. I will crumble under the pressure like the unsalted cracker that I am. So this girl comes on stage. It's just before me. And she's like this cute little archetypical 7-year-old. She's got like big red curly hair, like the big glasses. She comes up looking all sweet, and I'm thinking, this is great. Because a 7-year-old can't bomb. Like no one at 7, no one is expecting you to do well. Even if they go up there and suck, everyone will just be like, oh, that's so brave of them. Look at them trying. That worked for me. And I'm thinking, okay, I can work with this. And then she starts telling everyone this story. The song she's gonna sing, it's a song that her mother would sing to her every night before bed to help her get to sleep. And her mom's in the audience today, and it's like this really sweet thing because now it's like her turn to sing the song for her, and that's really cute. And crap, that's too cute. I can't follow this. What is this ugly mug gonna do? I can't tell a cute story about my mom singing me a song. It's a much different vibe if a 30-year-old man does it. My mother would sing this song to me every night to help me get to sleep. Okay, my turn. Okay, maybe there's hope. So then she starts singing, and this kid is an actual child prodigy. Like, I am not exaggerating. You know when you're watching America's Got Talent and like some big burly trucker dude with like a full beard comes out and then he starts singing and it sounds exactly like Ariana Grande or it's just a beautiful operatic. And you're there just like, how does this magnificent voice come out of you? I was not prepared for this. Neither was the audience because everyone just broke out crying. I broke out crying. One lady sitting next to me, she turns to me and she just says, "Oh, that girl, she's such a good singer, isn't she?" And I say, "I'm not crying because it's good. I'm crying because I'm going on next." You're next. Oh, you're screwed. So I get up there and I know I can't follow this. The audience knows I can't follow this. I look over, I see the girl now sitting in the audience. She definitely knows I can't follow this. Yeah, I see her looking over here with that smug look on her face. Yeah, just because you sang your stupid, beautiful song with an actual sense of rhythm. La-dee-da. Well, I've seen what the music industry does to young girls. Yeah, we'll see who's laughing when the paparazzi catch you at your worst. Your cute little freckled nose, stuffed with all the cocaine kids bop money can buy. Well, I played. I did my best. I channeled all my energy. My fingers were moving, and I played perfectly forgettable. It was perfectly forgettable. Honestly, is probably the best outcome I could have hoped for given the situation. And that is the story of why I decided to switch gears and go into comedy. Because they don't let 7-year-old girls into bars. Unless there's like 3 of them stacked on top of each other in a trench coat. But anyway, here's Wonderwall. Wait. Sorry guys, I'm still not a douche.
Give it up for Adam, everyone. Wow, yeah. Oh my gosh, what a great show. What an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming. If you are one of the couple people still kicking around, Greta, Annabella, or Emma, who also helped put the show together. I hope everyone has a great night. I just want to say to all my students before we sign out, everyone just between even just the class earlier this evening and now, like, just blew me away. Like, everyone rose to the occasion. You guys are so great. I hope that you felt that and you know what I'm talking about. Like, when you watch the recording, when you watch back, you'll be able to see a leap. And it's just like, it's insane to me. We're doing work an hour ago and people absorbed notes I gave them and applied them, and I'm just really like out of my mind stoked right now. So yeah, you'll get the link to the recording. Yeah, just thank you so much for like you teaching me how to be a teacher and being like the first class I ever did. And I'm not gonna cry, but I probably will after I shut this off. But please, if you love doing this, keep doing it. Everyone, it doesn't matter whether you think you're good or not now. Everyone here is intelligent and everyone can get better. Like, comedy is something anyone literally can do if they put their mind to it. I really do believe that. And I know right now also just like witnessing the show and like what a pleasure just to host it. So cool to be performing alongside you guys. Yeah, just, you know, do your work, do the work that we taught you in class, get out to open mics. There's a community on Facebook. Get into that community, get on they have like all these notes on where all the open mics are. Go out, get on stage, run your material, run all the jokes you weren't putting in this 5 minutes tonight. Definitely talk to other comics. Keep in a community yourselves. If you want to check in with each other, you want to buddy up with certain people in the class, maybe the whole class can even just stay on the thread in the email. And also I want to before you leave, for like congratulations everyone, like great job. And also I want to invite you all to come to my album recording on November 5th. You're all on the guest list. If you want to come, like you're more than welcome. And if you want to bring a +1, just email me and let me know that you are bringing another person. And yeah, you'll see me tell a few of the jokes I already told tonight, but also you'll see some stuff maybe you haven't seen me do, hopefully. Oh my gosh. And yeah, so I'll send you the link in the thread with the details, or there's a Facebook event too. You could probably just look up Amber Records an Album. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like give you guys all some notes on the thread, as maybe not in the thread, maybe individually I'll email you them, and then I'll also maybe I'll forward it to Soph, and then she can email any notes she'll have for you guys individually as who you are. This is really cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. And have a good night. Good job. Good work, everyone. You guys are awesome.